Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Psych Candy for Thursday, October 6th. Hope your week is going absolutely amazing and all of those fun things. Shauna, good to see you. Everybody watching out in all the other platforms, welcome. Been talking a lot lately about kind of understanding where we're at. How do we acclimate with, how do we acclimate with really truly processing our current mode, our current life? And understanding like what situation are we in? What are we dealing with? You know? And that gets kind of hard to understand sometimes because we get overwhelmed maybe sometimes just by the circumstance itself. And then sometimes we get sidelined a little bit by other people around us and all that kind of thing. But that's what today I want to talk to you about. We're going to kind of discuss how do we understand what our current situation is. People who feel kind of that sense of unhappiness about their lives, well, most of the time we're able to really kind of take some action to eliminate or at least modify the elements that we, feel to get rid of that general feeling of discomfort and, obviously want to replace it with happiness. Yesterday we spoke about like how to actually obtain your happy. So today we're going to talk about how to process the where you're at. But many of us at some point though just simply feel unhappy and we don't know why. We can't put our finger on it. We just know that right now I'm just not where I want to be. And that can be a very frustrating place because we want to figure things out. We want to make better choices, better plans. But you have to remember something. Happiness is a state of mind. What we must all accept is that there are no predetermined conditions that are going to make us happy or unhappy. So as individuals, we're all different. In our experience of the world is different, and it's all based upon our past experiences. Therefore, although we all will be able to relate to events that generally cause us to feel unhappy, such as maybe bereavement or the ending of a relationship, sickness, the loss of a job, or even our dislike for a job, our individual reactions to these events and of similar ones will vary greatly from person to person because we're all individuals, and our individual abilities of getting over these hurdles in order to regain our sense of peace and contentment with the world, well, they're also very different. We're all just different human beings. Nobody's going to think and feel the exact same way as you because, well, it doesn't work that way. But often, those people who tend to appear to be always like unhappy or just generally just kind of, disenchanted with life, are like that because of the way that they have pre-programmed themselves to react to disappointments through their lives. Now, you'll all be familiar with those who tend to come out with, comments such as, well, it's bound to turn out to be a disaster, nothing that good ever happens to me. Well, and although they might have, thrown out that statement kind of flippantly, the fact of the matter is that they perceive happiness and contentment as something that is hard to attain. That's going to elude them more often than not. And then they're basically just asking for that to be the normal outcome throughout their lives. I spoke about this last week, and it's understanding the aspect of when you lose that connect, when you lose that relationship of allowing your subconscious to speak to your conscious, right? Now, for a lot of people, they're like, yeah, whatever, I don't know how to do that. But you got to remember now, your subconscious is that part of your brain that hears and feels and sees everything, processes everything that you've ever experienced in your life. That's your subconscious. So that is that mental vault, okay? And so when we have things like intuition or that gut feeling that's happening, all right, a lot of times that's your subconscious trying to get your conscious mind's attention. And we overlook that. And that's really, really important, especially when it comes down to processing through the things that are making us unhappy in our life or avoid jumping into something that is about to maybe cause catastrophe. So how do we get ourselves to a place that we're going to awaken from negativity? So like, for example, if you don't feel happy about your current situation, then you need to sit down quietly, work through all the various strands in your life, and see how each one makes you feel. Do you like your job? Or does that cause you to feel stress? Each time you think about it, you hate getting up in the morning. You hate going out the door. You hate doing the routine. It's just drudgery on you. Or more so, what about your relationship? And this is not just your romantic relationship. What about just a relationship with your friends? You know, relationship with family sometimes, and then most importantly, the relationship you have with yourself. But look at your relationships. When you think of maybe when you look at your partner, do you find yourself filled with kind of warm, happy thoughts? Or do you constantly have this nagging doubt as to whether or not they're the right person for you? Do you have certain friends that you get around and just the minute that they text you or the minute they show up, you're just like, ugh, when's it going to end? you know, you got to look at things like that because this is all fueling factors of what make you feel unhappy. Basically, you should work through each aspect of your life and consider it like being on a journey towards some kind of spiritual growth, spiritual path. And if you find doubts and indecisions keep cropping up when considering certain aspects of your life, then this indicates that you're on the wrong path. And it's only when you can consider all aspects and feel in harmony with them all that you are traveling on the best pathway. And then you can start to approach life with a feeling of contentment and with a clear mind and soul. Very rarely is our entire life out of sync. In other words, even for those who feel that their life is generally unhappy, they too will be able to identify some aspects of their life which they feel is going well and makes them feel good about themselves. Do you want to hold on to those feelings and then revisit those elements where you feel unhappy about life and try to come up with a strategy whereby you could change certain things about the unhappy areas to get the happy feelings that you're experiencing in other areas of your life? Or maybe you just remember like that certain time frame. Yeah, you know what? I was happier then. You know what? I did feel better then. Those are those moments. That's that time that you want to capture that. Think about that. So when you do feel unhappy, think about the happy. The next thing, and this is very important, is about making decisions. People who tend to be unhappy can often be really good procrastinators. So in other words, they feel uncomfortable with making any major decisions which will change their lives and prefer to maintain the status quo, even though that means that they are denying themselves the happiness which they are entitled to. So therefore, they should try to release themselves from that train of thought and to be bold enough to make important decisions which can change their lives for the better. Decision making often brings new vitality to life, Now, we're all familiar with the concept of, as one door closes, another one opens, right? But yet, how many of us are actually reluctant to shut that familiar door for good, even though we realize it's not doing us any good? We hold on to it. Why? Because we made that our normal. We made that it's the easy route, For us to have any possibility of finding peace and contentment in our lives, it's crucial that we choose our own paths and not let others' opinions of our choices have any bearing on our decisions or let our fears cloud our future decision making. It's only when we choose our paths and refuse to be frightened of making potentially life-changing decisions, which are often for the better, by the way, can we truly experience happiness. We have to make that choice. We have to be willing to sometimes take that scary step, close that door that's familiar, actually embark on something that might feel a little frightening, but I promise you it's sometimes a healthy frightening. It's the good kind of thing. It's the thing that's going to catapult you into actually being in a better chapter of your life, finding the happiness that you have been denying yourself, and that sort of thing. So what is the last moment here? Well, the last moment is waking up. When you are understanding your current situation, it means sometimes you have that revelation of what actually is going on. But then guess what? We have to wake up and take action. We have to wake up and actually embark now down this path that we're seeing. The moment people wake up and accept that something in their life isn't working for them or is no longer, working with their plan, that acceptance is the first stage of embarking upon a road that will ultimately lead to your happiness. So the key then is to discover how you intend to replace the element of your life that no longer has any meaning or purpose for you. And once you've achieved that, then you'll find the happiness that you're looking for. Because then you're going to start making life easier. You're going to start learning some actual healthy progressions, some healthy patterns, some healthy normality in your life that is actually helping you progress and elevate in your happiness of yourself and your acceptance of yourself. And even more so, the acceptance that, hey, we all live in a life that sometimes we're going to have downfalls. Sometimes we're going to get into a bad relationship. Sometimes we're going to feel that negativity. We're going to feel stress. We're going to feel overwhelmed. But it's time to take that, to understand your situation so that you can start to change it. But you got to let yourself sit down with it and embrace it. Gracie Ellie, good to see you. I hope your Thursday is going great. Everybody watching out in YouTube land and Facebook, welcome. And I hope that you pulled something from this today and kind of combine yesterday's show with today, because I'm encouraging you to please take a breath, take a pause, take a step back to understand, what is my situation? And am I happy? Am I following my dreams? Am I meeting my passions, or am I stifling myself so that I stay in the same rut? I keep going back to the same toxic people. I'm maintaining friends that have absolute no positivity in my life, and I'm just going to reach out and go for the negative because that's what's easier. And if that's you, change it. If that's you, kick your own ass and change it, because that kind of thinking will never, and that kind of past structure is never going to make you achieve your happy, ever. So change it, shift it. Now's the time. Let that fall weather come in, and let that fall breeze come and blow out all the negative thinking and all the bad shit, and bring in positive, fresh, new energy in your life. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be back with you tomorrow right here at 11:30 a.m. Do something amazing for yourself today, even if it's just to take a breath of fresh air and just let your brain get calm to rethink where you are. All right, guys, till tomorrow, be happy, be healthy, and most importantly, be you. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Thank you, Graciela. Thank you, Deanna.